Hello and welcome to this web video about limiting the perspectives for users based on a specific authorization with an Enterprise Architect. Out of the box, Enterprise Architect shows you all the perspectives that are available, and well, there are quite some perspectives available with all kinds of subsets and detailed modeling aspects, etc. However, often in organizations you see that a limited set of the model language that is applied by a certain group of modelers is helpful then for letting them getting around within Enterprise Architect in the first step, and on top of that preventing them that they are going to create models that are not relevant in the role they have in the organization. So first you can see that I'm logged in as an administrator, and when I go to the settings as administrator you can see that in this case there are two groups, administrator and modelers. And here I would like to limit the group of modelers so they are able to have a restricted set of languages, and on top of that, in a later video, I will also demonstrate that they will have a limited set of elements within the ribbon in Enterprise Architect. However, let me first set the perspectives for a group of modelers, in this case, the modelers group. I go to perspectives, and here you see that here I am able to do all the settings of making visible what is relevant to them. However, what I first go to do is here I'm going to create a model-based set. I'm going to create a new one, and this is the DCSA BPMN group. And I'm going to tell it that it is strict, and what that means I will discuss later. I can say, well, okay, what kind of technology is included for this BPMN group? Well, as you can imagine, that will be business process modeling. So here I have to search, and I can say, well, I want to use BPMN 2.0 and not 1.1 and 1.0. And also that is very nice because now I can also limit that the modelers are only using BPMN 2.0, the latest version. So here you see that I am able to include this technology. This is the only one I include now. Okay, I save this, I go to group restrictions, and I can say, well, here is my group of modelers, the group of modelers as I already defined, and I can say, well, these I can all exclude. Let me see what's happening now, and here you see now I can exclude them all, and on top of that I can say this one can be included, and this one is DCSA BPMN. I have to give the name DCSA modelers or modelers limited, like this, modelers, and I can say okay, save this now. Okay, for modelers I have now limited this group of elements. Okay, I can log in as another user, and here you see, okay, I'm going to log in as modeler. He or she is member of that group, and what you can see now is when I go to perspectives, there is only one DCSA BPMN element for him or her available. And here you can say, okay, I can only create BPMN models. There are no extra models available anymore. However, we can go one step further. We can say, well, within BPMN, we want to include extra limitations. We want to give them a limited set of opportunities within that model. So we can limit the model BPMN for only displaying those elements that are only available within our language that we are applying here. So again, I have to log in as administrator, like this. I go to start, perspective, I go to the model based sets, I go to DCSA BPMN, and what I can do now, go to settings, model based sets, BPMN, and when I created this I said that I would like to restrict the language, and that has a reason, because what can I do now? I can here go to the restrict button, and here you can say, well, BPEL is not relevant, choreography is not relevant, choreography model is not relevant, collaboration model, all these elements I'm going to turn off. Here you can say, well, lane is relevant for us, and a pool is also relevant, and data object I like very much, and data store I like very much, and conversation link is not relevant. All those conversations we are not going to do. Again, I can be able to create groups, I can select a number of base types, I can do an assignment I don't want, conversation, correlation, etc. I do a number of elements, and here I can say that I limit all those elements that are available in this set. Participant, I think it's relevant. These are not relevant, so I select which elements I want to use, which not. Okay, what control flows are there, what decisions are there, there's a gateway, the association that are available, and here I can say I'm only interested in the business process, choreography is not relevant, collaboration is not relevant, and here the conversation is also not relevant. Event types, perfectly fine, nice to make the possibility to create annotations, and here you see that I limited the set. Again, I can close, and here you see that currently I still have all the elements available. However, see what happens when I now log in as an administrator, as a modeler, and you can see now I can go to my personal package, I can go to DCSA Sim, okay, and I can say, well, let's create a new diagram. And here you see, okay, let's create that model or create a diagram, and from that diagram you see that there are only 2 diagrams available that I can create. And let me create this one. Okay, create a diagram, and here it is created, and what you see here is that only those elements I selected are still available. All the other elements have disappeared, and also on top of that I am not able to create diagrams which are not of the types I defined. So here you see that on top of limiting the languages within Sparx Enterprise Architect, within that specific language you are also able to limit the diagrams, the types, the associations, etc. etc. So very powerful for people for limiting the elements selectable for a specific group of users.